Russia's huge arsenal and mighty firepower have allowed the Assad regime to stay in power and his forces to strengthen. Nowhere has this might been felt more than in the divided city of Aleppo. Now, after a 2-week humanitarian pause, Russia is threatening to resume a full-scale bombing of Aleppo.
All attempts made by the militants in the city of Aleppo to break out have failed. The terrorists suffered heavy losses in manpower, hardware and military equipment. They've no chance to break out of the city. To avoid needless casualties, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation has announced a humanitarian pause in Aleppo on the 4th of November from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. local time. All humanitarian corridors in Aleppo previously prepared by Russia will operate for the exit of civilians and militants.
An offensive rebels launched to break the siege on their strongholds in the east is in its 6th day. They are vowing to press on with it.
We thought breaking the first lines of defense will take a long time, but with the grace of God, we broke their defenses in half the time we anticipated.
A number of Syrian rebel groups are involved in the offensive, including the Free Syrian Army, the Conquest Army, and a coalition calling itself the Aleppo Operation Room. Russia halted its airstrikes on Aleppo in mid-October to allow a humanitarian pause for civilians and rebels to leave the city in safety. But Syrian jets and helicopters have continued their raids on the city, dropping barrel bombs, cluster bombs, and bunker busters. Their latest attacks have been on neighborhoods in the west, recently taken by the rebels.
May God punish them for the airstrikes that keep targeting us around the clock. The artillery and tank shells do not stop day and night, but we have no plans to escape.
Haunted by the constant bombardment, some are choosing to flee Aleppo. Most are from the government-held western Aleppo. Until now, their areas had largely escaped the airstrikes that have killed hundreds in the east. Aleppo's fate and that of Syria's civil war are intertwined, as are the fates of people living on both sides of the front line that divides Aleppo. Mohammed, Adow, Jazeera, Gaziantep.